Hello everyone, MeNoHaxor here, bringing you guys a support bard commentary. So I apologize for not really being active for the last couple weeks. That was mostly because I got into an injury. I had to go to the hospital because I hit my head and kind of got a concussion. So I've recovered for the most part, but basically the doctors didn't really allow me to do stuff on the computer or like play games or anything like that, because otherwise I get pretty bad headaches. So I pretty much couldn't really do much for the last couple weeks, and then just this week I felt a lot better, so I started, playing a couple more games and like kind of getting back into things. So feeling good and playing League again and trying to get myself reacquainted with this patch, because there are a lot of new things this patch, such as like new supports or new mages that got reworked that I think really do well as a support. I think some of them include like Zyra and Brand that got reworked, but I'll probably do another video about those and talk about that some other point. This game I'm doing a Bard commentary though, so I'll focus on Bard. So I think Bard has always been a really nice spot. I like picking Bard as a strong counter pick in certain lane matchups. I actually like picking him against Janna a lot, because I feel like Bard pressures and pokes the lane really hard, and I think he actually can out-trade a Janna if you play it right. I also think what's really good about him is that against a Janna, like, you can engage really well against a Janna because your ult pretty much just stops all movement whatsoever. So it's really nice if you want to engage on a Janna, because unlike someone like an Alistar, it's really hard that struggles against engaging against a Janna. Bard can do it pretty easily, so I do like picking Bard in this matchup. So basically in this lane matchup, I'm looking to try to just do a basic auto Q harass. That's your main bread and butter as Bard, because with your auto, you get 2 procs off with your little meep, and then you can throw a Q, and then that'll be a 3rd proc for your Thunderlord, so you do a ton of damage like that. So just like that, you can see I'm already chunking Janna for a lot. Now, we do hit level 2, so we are starting to trade a bit harder. I do miss my Q right there, which is really bad, but basically, now that I'm laning with a Jhin and he's also level 2, it's really important for me to pretty much always be autoing the enemy, just mostly because that way I proc Jhin's like passive, so that we can get a root snare, and letting the Jhin get the root snare first before I throw out my Q is really important, because that way like I can kind of line up my positioning and try to get a stun off with my Q. So I do have to try to auto a fair amount in this lane matchup. What's also really good about the Sivir matchup in particular is that your passive does proc a spell shield, so it is really nice when, like, if you're trying to throw a Q, you can also throw an auto first to try to proc the spell shield, and then your Q will land. So that's something you can kind of do later on as the game progresses. So anyways, I do see that like my Nidalee my Elise is fighting this Nidalee, and I do see Elise is pinging one to fight this Nidalee right here. So I am just going to start running up here, because I know that the Jhin will pretty much be okay, since like they can't really push that hard. And I know I can get there faster than the Sivir and Janna can get to the Nidalee and Elise, so I'm going to try to help them around as much as possible, because this is really important. I try to stop the jungler as soon as possible, because like games can snowball really hard if you don't try to stop a Nidalee. So I see the Elise just grappled up into the air, so I'm just not going to take any chances. Go for the flash ignite Q on the Nidalee and just pretty much kill her. So that was a pretty free kill. And now I see the Sona is trying to kill the Elise, so I did level up from there, so I'm just going to level up my portal, fly over, and pretty much cut off the Sona with the Zed, so now the Sona is pretty screwed. So the Sona does a really smart play here and flashes over the wall, because she knows she's dead, right? So she might as well just try to get the kill on the Elise. I was just a little too late on getting the heal. I don't think that would have actually saved the Elise, but it was worth a try. But now, I know this is pretty much a free guaranteed kill for the Zed. Janna already just blew everything right here, so I know that there's no way the Sona can actually survive. So now I'm just making sure that Zed gets the kill right here, because if Zed gets the kill, then he gets the red buff, and he'll be pretty far ahead in his lane with that extra gold. So that's really nice that he got the kill. And then somehow Jhin got a kill on Sivir. I have absolutely no idea how that happened, but that ended up working out pretty nicely for us. So now what we're going to do is that Jin's going to recall, because he wants to go back and shop. But if I also go back and shop, then this lane's going to push back up, the lane will reset. So since this lane's already pushing towards us, my job right now is to just kind of walk a little bit inside this bush in and out, just to keep getting de-aggroing and taking the creep aggro, minimize the amount of damage I take, and then freeze the wave right about here, which is really good for us, because that way Jhin gets more farm, the Sivir loses more farm. It's pretty much a win-win situation for us. I would say the only bad side about doing this is that I'm not really using my double buffs that effectively, because the Janna hasn't really gone back either. So I know she's going to go back and heal soon, so any damage I do to her isn't really going to matter that much. So I'm a lot more focused right now on trying to just maintain the wave control, and also just placing random health packs since I already have a blue buff. Like, I don't need the mana. And plus I'm going back, so even if I had the blue buff, it didn't matter. Like, I would just place health packs whenever I can. So now the lane's pretty much frozen, so left 2 more health packs, and then I'm just going to go back and shop. So on my first back, I get a Frostfang and Ruby Crystal instead of a Sightstone outright, just because I feel like having more gold generation is really good. I play a really greedy playstyle in solo queue, so I tend to almost always go for the gold generation upgrades over the Sightstone. And just a note right here, like as Bard, you pretty much want to get a really good feel of making a portal from here, stretching it all the way down to this inhibitor, because that way it saves you about 10 seconds of walking, which is pretty important early on in the game. So definitely practice getting used to making this portal. The best way I like to do it is that I like to stand on the very right side here, because the further right you stand, the better angle you'll get for putting it out here. And then you have to normal cast it to see where the portal will end. So if you practice that, you should be pretty good as Bard. Anyways, now that I'm back in lane, I do have double buff, so I'm looking to just try to trade as much as possible with red buff, you know, play some chocolates, throw out some Qs, like, you know, just try to get as much rest as possible. That was a pretty good chunk by me and the Jhin right there. So you can see now that, like, we're pressuring the Sivir away, and now the Sivir's a little too far away for me to fight, so now we both just start turning on Janna and just start hitting her, which is definitely the correct play for both me and the Jhin. So, I'm going to try to position myself to try to stun her. So Jhin gets a really nice auto root on this Janna, so now she's just pretty much 100% dead. She's going to get snared, or she doesn't get snared, but she just pretty much gets guaranteed queued by me, and now we get a kill. So what's really important here is that with the teleport here, I'm going to just try to switch directions from the Jhin, because if I continue to run this way to the right, like, there's a pretty strong chance I'm going to die and also get the Jhin baited, and he'll die also, since if they try to kill me over here, they'll just turn on Jhin immediately afterwards. So I tried to jump over here to divert attention, but they just go straight on Jhin. Because I left some of the chocolates here, Jhin can walk over the chocolates to get some health back and also get some movement speed to run away, which is pretty convenient that I placed it earlier before. So he does get the movement speed and he gets some of the chocolate, so he is able to run away. Sivir can't go in for an auto, and now Jin's able to live. So that was pretty nice that I placed those chocolates way beforehand. Just predicting that, you know, maybe something will happen, like, and we never know if we need it, so that was kind of nice. I do see the Sona is still here, so now I know that the Sona is probably still in this bush because the Elise is doing Scuttle and she doesn't see the Sona walking up, so she's probably not going back mid. She's probably still in this bush, so I'm just gonna, you know, poke my head in. I'll just put a ward but not face check directly, because if I face check directly there, I definitely would have died, so it's good that I just placed a trinket ward there instead. Cool, so once again making the portal, coming back to lane. I end up getting a Sightstone now that I have enough money for it, so that is pretty nice for me. I'm in a really good spot now. Like, Janna pretty much had to go Sightstone immediately, and now because of that, she's behind on her gold generation, so it's pretty good that I got a little bit farther ahead. So there, I saw the Jhin land the root, so I'm just going to land a blind Q, because I know that's most likely going to land on the rooted target. So, and then I placed a ward immediately, so that way we get vision. But instead, we just turned on Sivir just because she was running up really closely. And I'm just going to keep on autoing them. So now I see Jin's ulting, right? So now my goal is that I'm going to try to just distract them as long as possible. And try to get as much damage done as I can. And also just try to make sure that like the Janna stops moving. So I see the Jhin is going for the Janna, so I land a Q. I snare the Janna, so that way on this last shot, he gets a free kill. That was pretty nice for the Jhin. It's also smart for the Jhin to go for the Janna and not the Sivir, because the Sivir has Spell Shield, so she can just block the last shot. So I did see Nidalee right here, so I am a little bit careful, but I am just going to use one of my Sightstone wards right here. What's kind of bad about this ward is that I didn't place it far enough to the left, because if I place it farther to the left, I can see if Nidalee's doing the Golem camp, so for all I know, she could be at the camp, I don't know. But now that I move a little bit further in, I do see that the camp is gone, so she already did it a long time ago. She probably jumped over the wall, she like went somewhere else. So just good information to know for my team. Then place another ward, and then I'm just going to rotate around mid. Also collect some chimes in the meantime, since there's nothing to really do since Jin's backing right now, so I might as well just roam around a little. I do see Sona is mid, So I do try to see if Sona's gonna walk up to the Zed right here. I was hoping she would, but she didn't, so that kind of sucks. This means that the area is probably warded. I don't actually know if it's warded. Let me check. Let me see if I can change vision. Yeah, turns out they didn't even have a ward. Sona was just playing really well, so props to her. But as you see, Janna places a ward here, so I end up using the pink ward I have and just clearing it. Like, I don't like to use pink ward that often in mid, because I feel like your mid laner or jungler should do it, but I feel like denying vision right here is really useful because the Zed is probably going to roam around soon, and so like having Zed, giving Zed the freedom to run around is pretty nice. So anyways, coming back here, I do a pretty bad trade there with that tornado. And I'm just looking just to try to distract the Sivir a little bit. I do see the Gangplank, I don't know if you know this, but the Gangplank pinged saying that he was ready to ult. So that's why I keep fighting here. So I threw the Ignite, I threw a Q, and now I'm just running away. And the Gangplank comes out, gets a kill on the Sivir. That's pretty nice. So I do see now the Zac is jumping, so I have to flash this. So right before it lands, I get the flash off, which is pretty good. And now my goal is that I have to try to distract the Zac long enough so that the Jhin can survive, because hopefully we can also get the kill on the Janna. So I throw an ult down, like pretty much immediately on top of Zac. He can't run away out of it because he doesn't have boots, so I can just pretty much place it directly on top of him. And now looking to try to kill the Janna. The Jhin flashes away. He actually flashed a spear right here, which is pretty good play on his part. The Janna tries to juke flash into that bush, but that bush was warded from before when the last time we killed them, so she gets kinda wrecked. And now we just keep on running. I end up throwing a Q right here, which ends up stunning both the Nidalee and the Zac. And here I make kind of a big mistake. So instead of continuing to run, I stay and throw an auto up, which is really bad. Because now I put myself in a really awkward position with that auto, because now I can't dodge the spear at all. Like, that spear is 100% guaranteed land to hit. So I have to portal right here to dodge that first pounce, but she did get a reset on that pounce. And now I'm pretty much dead because my Q didn't come up in time, and now because she got the reset, she just jumped on me again. So once again, the misplay there was just the fact that I autoed. If I didn't auto, I could have ran a little bit more to the right here. And as long as I stood somewhere around here, I probably would not have gotten speared, and then I would have been able to live, potentially kill Nidalee, even help out the Jhin, because the Jhin was really close to killing the Zac also. So that kind of sucked. A little bit of a misplay on my part. Otherwise, it was a 2 for 2. Not the worst in the world. Like, we got the TP from the Zac, so it was okay overall. Anyways, making a portal for myself and for my AD carry. Save him a lot of time for coming back to lane. Throwing down health packs as he's walking back, just so he can walk a little bit faster. Also place a portal here, because that also helps you get there sooner. Kind of nice. Anyways, Jhin is 4 kills up on the Sivir, so we are much stronger than them. So I'm looking to play very aggressively because I know that they can't really trade against us anymore. So Janna's also level 5, which is pretty important. So she doesn't have ult, so she's really weak right now. So like, I'm just wrecking her. So she is 6, so I have to kind of respect them a little bit, but for the most part, I can continue to play very aggressively and just keep poking them down. So here, I pretend I'm going to go in for the auto, but I immediately just back off because I know Janna's going to go for the tornado. So I dodge a bad trade this time, and I am able to live, which is, well, I wouldn't have died, but I would have avoided a really bad trade. So that's just a good, small little play on my part. Anyways, I'm collecting Chines right now, and the Elise is pinging that she wants to gank. So I am looking to try to make a portal from right here all the way down here, but I probably could have done that right here and maybe would have potentially gotten some kills, but I wanted to come up wanted them to come up a tiny bit closer, but they didn't end up walking up, so that kind of sucks. Anyways, I do see the Sivir is recalling now because of this ward right here, so the Jhin is just looking to ult, and I'm just going to try to stop the Sivir and just slow her down as much as possible because the Elise is coming, Zed's also coming, so this is a pretty free dive for us if we commit. So distracting them pretty hard. Jhin is able to finally land an ult, so he's gonna land like pretty much all those bullets. I go for the Sivir kill right here. I end up proccing, I think, Thunderlords, and I got the kill on Sivir. Now we get the kill on Janna, and now the Sona's here. So the Sona ults, so I'm looking to try to ult. So I end up choosing just to ult the Sona. I maybe could have gotten the tower also, but I don't think it mattered that much because all I needed to do was reposition myself up here so that way I can throw a Q and snare the Sona onto a creep, like this creep right here. So I got the snare. I end up taking Tower Aggro, which is kind of surprising because I thought the Zed would, but I throw a hot chocolate on myself just in case, and I was also checking a health pot the entire time, so I ended up living because of that. So that was pretty good play on my part. We got 3 kills for that, which was pretty worth. Looking to just, put some health packs, go ahead and recall. We can't take the turret that fast because Jhin isn't really that good at taking turrets, so I'm okay with leaving it up. Now we just walk back to lane. I ended up buying I bought a Lucidity boots on my last buy, and now I'm looking to buy a Spooky Ghost. I do like getting the Ghost a lot, mostly because I think having the Ghost is really helpful for landing my Q and landing my ult. Yeah. Plus, I think having more AP isn't that bad on Bard. Bard uses AP, reasonably well. Yeah, so right there, you can see how, my passive proc the Sivir spell shield, but, my passive onto the Janna still went out. I also tried to throw out a Q since I know that she can't really block the damage. So, yeah, that was just kind of, things you need to know about the interaction with the spell shield. Here I land a really nice Q from the creep onto the Sivir, and now I get some more free damage on her. She's getting super wrecked. Pretty much just continuously autoing her, so that way the Jhin could potentially land a snare, but he misses, so we just back off now. Yeah, you can just see how aggressive I'm playing now that I know that the lane is pretty much won for us. And I can't really do much to come back. So I do see a ward is here, but I don't really want to stay too close because this looks really sketchy if the Nidalee's here, right? Because she can just spear me and I'll die. So I pretty much just forfeit that vision, but it's good to just get that knowledge that a pink ward is there. I would never recommend you actually try to clear a pink ward like that unless you push out this wave entirely and they're farming under tower. So instead, well, actually, this Nidalee jumps on me, so it's good that I did not try to go for that pink ward. And then now I have to flash. I missed the stun on the Nidalee, which kind of sucks, so I do have to get a heal from the Jhin to stay alive, and now I just make a portal and just keep on running. So, really close, really close. I almost died. I lived with 50, so the Jhin heal definitely saved me there. As I was saying before, I placed a ward here instead because this ward kind of serves the same purpose. If I do want to see if the jungler's coming down like this and waiting over here, then I can see that. And this is also just barely outside the range of the pink for the try. Anyways, the Elise is here now, so I am looking to try to go for the Janna. It's impossible to try to go for Sivir since she has Spell Shield and she can Spell Shield my ult. So I go on the Janna and I just barely tag her, so now she's 100% dead, absolutely dead. So we pretty much just wreck her now. Free kill. Now Jin's gonna just immediately start ulting the Sivir down. She can't block everything, so we just commit super hard for this. Really nice kill. And now the Nidalee's here, but I try to go for the Q here, I miss. If I landed that Q, that probably would have been a kill because I think the Zed would have just gone in. But I can't stay that long because the Elise rappelled up into the air, I was going to take tower aggro, so I can only take 1 tower shot and that was it. So I had to Q and back off regardless if it landed. Now we're just pushing, we got that turret. Pretty nice for us. Now we can safely clear that pink ward now that I know they're dead. So yay. Anyways, now I did end up finishing my Prospering Claim, and now I think I'm starting to work on Locket now because they do have a reasonable amount of magic damage. Nidalee's their strongest person on our team, so I guess having MR for my team wouldn't be too bad of an idea. Anyways, I am looking to try to get vision mid side now. I do see Elise is getting wrecked right now, so we are going to try to look to help her. So we all start rotating upward. So I send up some ghosts. I also send out a Q to try to snare them. I don't snare the Zac, unfortunately, and he gets a really nice stun on most of us. And then the Sona goes for a flash ult. It does hit Bard and Jhin right here. But basically now I'm looking to try to help kill the Sivir. Sivir's dead, or the Sona's dead, and now we're looking to try to kill Sivir. So I do try to ult the Sivir. I wasn't sure if she had Spell Shield or not. I wasn't keeping track of it, but unfortunately she did. So she Spell Shielded it, good for her. She ends up getting out, so that kind of sucks. I wasn't in range to land a Q, so I couldn't throw a Q and then Spell Shield, so I just had to hope she didn't have the shield at all. So that's unfortunate that she did. Anyways, I position myself this way and portal in case someone was standing right over here looking to try to wave clear or something like that. You never know. But That's the reason why I position myself like that. You might be able to get a free kill like that, so it's always worth sometimes trying to go for that. And since they all recalled, we know we can take this tower for free, so we just stay and just push this really hard. So that was pretty free for us. Oh yeah, this was kind of funny. So like the Nidalee tried to kill me here, and I ended up making a fake portal and not actually going through because she actually ended up pouncing this way, and while I ran upward, but I ended up getting speared, so that kind of sucked. But yeah, like, I guess you could argue that me taking the not going through this portal and making it bad was actually a good thing, because even if the portal was good, like if the angle was better and I went through, the Nidalee pounced this way, and I definitely would have still gotten hit by the AoE of the pounce. So because I made a bad portal, I walked straight upward instead of down here. So that did end up making me survive, which is kind of funny. So I guess you can kind of consider that you could do these kind of weird mind games as Bard, where you make a portal but you don't actually take the portal and stuff like that. But yeah, like that would have been great until I got speared. So unlucky. Anyways, I guess there's a lot more fighting here. Oh well. So yeah, I ended up building Crystalline Bracer. Once again, just building towards the Aegis. And right now my goal is to try to get vision in this mid to upper jungle, because we still haven't gotten this top turret yet, and that's our next goal. We got 2 turrets mid, so we do have a ton of map pressure right now. So I am looking to try to do that. But first I hope to at least take the dragon really quickly. There are a couple times here, and want to just get those. Now that we got that, I am looking to make my way back up top. So I start sweeping this area. I did see there was a ward freshly placed there, so I know someone's kind of here. So I place a ward across, check this bush in case there's a pink ward. There is, so I cleared that. And then if I was feeling more brave, I try to get a ward right here, because that would be a really good spot to see incoming rotations up towards the top lane. But I'm not going to go for that because that's a little too risky. I don't really know where all of them are. Anyways, I recall, and now I also make a portal in this direction. You can kind of do that on both sides. So definitely remember that, once again, if you stand on this topmost side, you can make a portal like this. Anyways, I did have enough money now for an Aegis, so I completed it, and now I'm walking up towards top, just to give Jhin a little bit of support in case they try to dive him. But I do see 3 people are mid, so now I know I'm pretty safe to just get some vision for us. So I placed 1 ward here for the Jhin. I also placed 1 ward here, but the Zek was actually waiting for me, so that was actually really spooky. So I don't actually want to run upward here. I see them all running up, so I'm just going to make a portal and just go this way, because that way I dodge the attack jump. Kind of nice for me. And yeah, like once again, like just face checking with wards is much better than face checking with your face. So always place a ward in a bush, because that way you can react a little bit more quickly if someone's waiting in there. Yeah, resweeping this area just to make sure that they don't have vision on us. Collect some more chimes. You know, just really just making sure we have a lot of vision on their rotations. Now I placed 1 ward over here. I like having this ward here because this ward allows, like, if they're defending mid right here, they would most likely run up this path right here up to top lane if we were to push top in a couple minutes. So having this one ward right here is good, or having this ward. But I thought having this area is better for a ward, because I feel like they would probably try to sweep this area, because this is a really, really good ward spot. So I would imagine they would probably sweep it, which is why I chose to place my ward over this wall here, over here. So here I make a really bad mistake. So I saw that there was some action going on mid, so I thought there'd be more people mid lane, like retreating with the Sivir, but turns out they were all just in jungle here. So I ended up trying to make a portal in here to meet with the mid, but I ended up just getting caught really badly. I flashed, but it didn't matter because I ended up dying anyways, so that was just a really big misplay on my part. Like, I wasted flash, gave them a free kill, like, really didn't accomplish anything at all. Just bad map awareness on my part, I suppose. Ooh, really nice flash by the Jhin to dodge that. I don't know why they're fighting 3v4, that's kind of crazy, but I mean, they're fighting, so good for them. We are fairly strong since we built a really strong lead early on, so I guess it's not the worst thing ever. I do have Locket now, so Locket's complete. I think if this game is continuing on for a bit longer, I would have started working on a Zeke's, because I do think I do need some more CDR, and Bard does like having a little bit of AP, so definitely would have probably gone for that. Would also help for applying the Zeeks on either, like, really Jin, Zed, or Gameplay can do really well with Zeke, so any of those options would have been really good. Send out Ghost just to make sure I don't face check in anything, and now I'm just going to place 2 wards right here. That's just in anticipation for Dragon, because it is coming up in 1 minute, so getting those wards out early is pretty nice. Now I see my team is making my way towards Dragon, which is pretty good for us because that should be our next objective. Now, I do see that Nidalee is charging forward, so I'm just going to portal out. Once again, splitting directions from the Jin to make sure we don't both get CC'd or anything like that. Or they both, or like, you know, like, because if I get caught and run this way, like, I just bait them into going for Jin. So Nidalee is pressuring it pretty hard here. I do sweep this area because I did see a ward get placed over there. I end up placing my pink over here, just in case they had this warded. But I do see now, like, the Elise flashes over the wall to go for this Janna. Now Jin gets a snipe on the Janna right here, so she is dead. So I also see the Sona is running this way. So I am looking to just ult the Sona. And she just doesn't really quite make it out, which kind of sucks for her. Trying to run to try to get the Q on the wall right here, like in this direction. But I think right here, if I Q'd, that would have landed it. But luckily, the Zed actually got his ult off, so he dodged the Sona ult. Now he's just going to go in for the Sona kill. So, still ended up working out for us, but I think I misplayed that a little bit. I probably could have Q'd a little bit earlier and gotten the snare. But now we changed plans and now aren't going for Dragon anymore because 2 of them died. Baron's pretty free, so I make a portal for us, rotate there more quickly, and we're just going to do Baron immediately because it's a 5v3 and we know we can win a 5v3. Yeah, this is pretty free. I think what I probably should have done is that instead of being in this pit hitting Baron, I probably should have stayed outside the pit and tried to get vision on Nidalee or Zac because there is a pretty strong chance they could have maybe stolen it with a spear or something like that. And so it would have probably been better for my jungler to have the information over Nidalee because I don't think me hitting the Baron would have made it die like any faster. Like maybe I did maybe like 500 damage to Baron, which isn't a whole lot. So we end up killing Zac for free because he jumped in. Now we're just looking to, well, I go back and heal first because my team doesn't need me to do Dragon, and I think it's better for me to just go back first because that way I can get more rewards, and then that way once we start pushing again, I do have more rewards for us so we can like get going and do stuff. But the game's actually over because they surrender. But basically, like, my game plan after this was that I was just going to have fresh wards, and then we were going to go push mid and pretty much end the game. So, overall, this game was pretty quick. Really short game, but I think overall it highlighted how to play the laning phases Bard, and I guess, like, how I shifted my ward focus as the game progressed. And yeah, like, I think Bard's, like, not a bad counter pick at all. Like, you saw in a lot of these fights, like ulting them, like if I ult on them, like, they can't really do anything. Like, the Janna disengage is pretty much useless. So yeah, I don't know. Like, Bard's pretty fun. I like him a lot. I think my next commentary will most likely be a Zyra commentary, actually. So look for that in the next couple days, and glad to be doing commentaries again. So yeah, thanks for watching.